Alright guys, Armando Arias here once again, and welcome to video 2. In this training tutorial, I'm going to teach you the 6 important steps for massive instant lead generation with solo ad marketing. So go ahead again, take out your piece of paper and a pen and take lots and lots of notes, because I'm going to actually spill the secrets to solo ad marketing and what you should be doing to have a successful solo ad marketing campaign. So step number 1, run solo ads with relevant providers. This is probably one of the biggest keys to having success with solo ads, is having the right providers. And I'm actually going to teach you where to find these relevant providers in video number 3. But for right now, let me go ahead and explain this. By far, this is the most critical part of running a successful ad. There are literally hundreds of places to run solo ads. The key is to find providers that are specific to your niche you are trying to target. For example, if we were going to market Empower Network directly, which is our niche, our target market would be the business opportunity seekers niche. And if you wanted to market, let's say, the Super Elite Marketers Club marketing system directly, our target market would be existing Empower Network affiliates that are struggling, or maybe they've been left by their sponsor, etc. So you would not run an ad with the provider whose list is primarily made up of pet owners. It just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be a smart decision. So my point is that you need a niche specific solo ad provider, because if you miss this important step, you're going to get poor results, and you're actually going to be wasting your money. So I'm going to actually teach you where to find these relevant providers here in video number 3. Step number 2, you'll want to contact every single provider before ordering a solo ad from them. You know, I see a lot of marketers that try to do solo ad marketing, and they'll just pick just anybody without gathering some information first. Common sense tells you that you should only give your money to someone who is responsive and actually gets back to you if you contact them. So before I personally run a solo ad, I always contact the provider just to see how fast they get back to me, or if they get back to me at all. A lot of times they won't even get back to me. You know, I'm not going to give my money to someone that doesn't respond to me. So I wait for them to respond to me. If they even take a long period of time, let's say they take 4 or 5 days to respond, then that's not a good sign either. I usually don't run a solo ad with them because I know their customer service is just going to be terrible. Another important key is, when you contact the solo ad provider first, it allows me to ask some questions. So these are some of the questions that I ask. I always ask if they've seen an ad or an offer like mine. I want to know if maybe they've seen my capture page before, if another person has ran the same capture page, or if it did, how did it convert? How responsive was their list to this type of offer, and how much do they charge per click? Those are some of the basic questions that you're going to want to be asking a solo ad provider, okay? So it's very, very important that you contact them first, gather some information, and then make a decision, wise business decision, to run a solo ad with them. Step number 3, you'll want to create good ad copy and follow-up. Now, good copywriting can make or break your marketing results with solo ads. So it's very, very important that you have a very strong, compelling offer that people will want to click on, okay? And lucky for you, by being a member of the Super Elite Marketers Club, we've actually taken care of this step for you, because we have pre-written sales copy for you to use with your follow-ups, okay? But for your information, I wanted you to just grasp this. You need to create great ad copy that tells people what they will get and how they will benefit by looking at your ad or clicking the links within your email ad. So while having good copy in the actual body of your solo ad is important, the biggest component of your solo ad is the subject line by far. So write that one down. The biggest, most important part to your solo ad is your subject line. You want people to click on that subject line, and I'm going to touch on that in video number 3 as well. So without a good subject line, people won't click your ad to even get to the actual body of the ad. Keep this in mind when you're putting your ad together. And finally, your ad must be congruent with what your capture page states. You know, many times I see a lot of marketers, they'll run a solo ad and their ad copy says one thing and their capture page says another. You know, you want to be as congruent. Whatever your capture page says, that's what your solo ad should say as well. That way people know what they're clicking on when they see your email ad. Very, very important steps to follow. Step number 4, you want to make sure that you're capturing all of your leads. You know, you want to make sure that when people click through your ad, they end up on a lead capture page. Okay, a lot of times people will run a solo ad and they'll send them to, let's say, a blog. There's not really a place for them to enter their email, or maybe there is, but it's not an actual capture page. Okay, so you do not want to send them to a page that doesn't allow you to capture their email information. Doing so will take away your ability to follow up and build your list. With that said, I highly suggest that you have your Aweber autoresponder account integrated with your capture page, so you can capture, store, and manage all of your leads. You know, whether that be Aweber or GetResponse, get your own autoresponder. I definitely recommend that, because now you're going to have the ability and you actually own that list. That is an asset for your business. That's what's going to make or break you, and that's what's going to keep you here in the long run. Missing this step will nullify what you are trying to do in the first place. Bottom line is you're trying to build your list. Step number 5, you'll want to monetize your list. Okay, you want to monetize your leads. Keep in mind that emailing someone else's list is not a magic formula that will guarantee people will buy or join you. In fact, you need to continue to drip on your list. This is something that we call drip email marketing. If you're running a good ad with good sales copy with a relevant provider, you will get results. But since you're paying for running the ad, it's critical that you monetize all the leads that you get from that ad. Personally, after my initial offer and follow-up, I have my autoresponder set up to send out 1 message per day up to 35 days. And I'll share why I do that. Again, this is called drip email marketing. The truth is that most people will not join you on the first few emails. It usually takes anywhere from 4 to 10 emails on average before they decide to take action. You know, I've even had personally people on my list for months and months before they take action. I had a guy one time that was actually on my list for about 13 months, 1 year and 1 month before he took action. You know, but he used to read all of my emails, which was pretty interesting. And one thing to remember while you're building your list and while you're building Empower Network is that some people will not join you until they're ready. Maybe they don't have the funds. They're just waiting for that right time. So that's why it's so important to continue to market to your list, even if they don't join you once you run that solo ad. And most of the time they're not going to. A lot of people think that they run a solo ad and they start generating all these leads, and they think that they're going to start converting on the first email. No, it takes several emails to get those sales. Okay, they want to know, like, and trust you. This goes back to attraction marketing, and my background comes from attraction marketing. People want to know that you're legit. People want to know that you're real and sincere, and that's why it's so important to have these follow-up emails. You want to be able to educate your prospects before they make a decision to join your team or to buy whatever you're offering. So very, very important that you monetize your list. And finally, step number 6, you'll want to test small, track, and scale up. Okay, it's very important that you track your stats, that you track your clicks to see how many clicks. So for example, if you buy a solo ad for 100 clicks and you generate 30 leads out of those 100 clicks, then you only had a 30% conversion rate, okay? Which isn't too bad, but it's not great as well. You want to get somewhere in the range of 40 to 60%. So if you run 100 clicks, you want to be generating anywhere from 40 to 60, 70 leads. So that's why it's very important that you test small. With any solo ad provider, you want to test small for the first time you order the solo ad with them. So don't go overboard and dump a ton of cash on solo ads without knowing if it even converts well. Run a small solo ad first and track your stats, like I said, so you know if it is a good provider to run with. Once you see that the provider is worth running with, then only and only then should you scale up and run bigger ads with them. With that being said, when you test a small ad and the results are below average, that doesn't necessarily mean that your offer isn't good or the provider isn't good. You might want to run another small test using a different subject line or maybe tweaking the body of the ad. So this is just one example of why you should be aware of keeping track with your stats. One subject line might dramatically change your results, believe it or not. Just by changing the subject line alone can make the world of difference. So that's why you want to be able to test small. You test, a $25 solo ad before you scale up to a $250 solo ad. So it's very important that you test small, track, and scale up. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a powerful solo ad, and I'm also going to show you where to find relevant solo ad providers. So with that being said, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.